Hey there guys, it's Rick here with AirgunWeb TV, and today we're going to be shooting some firearms before we start shooting our air guns. Stay with us. All right, so before we get started, I want to say this video is brought to you by Mantis. Mantis makes some great training tools, and that's what this video is about today. You know, what do you do right now if you want to go and train with your firearm? Like, I was doing some shooting today and realized that I'm not where I should be in my accuracy and my proficiency. I'm really not hitting what I want to be hitting. The bigger question is, I don't have a shooting coach and I don't have the time and money to go down to the range and hire a shooting coach. So what do I do to improve other than just blindly shoot more rounds? I mean, more trigger time's good, but if you can get trigger time with some instruction, that's really good. And that's where the Mantis system comes into play. Now, I was shooting my Walther PPX. I probably put, I don't know, maybe 100 rounds through it or so today. And gosh, that's probably 20, 30 bucks in ammo. I haven't bought ammo in a while. And from what I understand right now, this is July 2020, trying to find ammo, if you can find it, it's expensive, but sometimes you just can't even find it. So that adds another layer of what do you do if you want to keep up your proficiency? Well, this is where Mantis really comes into play. We met with these guys a couple times now at SHOT, and they sent me their new top tier product. And I want to kind of walk through what it does for you. This is not going to be an exhaustive kind of demo, but I just want you guys to see what it can bring to the table if you want to have some trigger time with the instruction side of it, which is, I think, really important. So what we have here is this little guy right here. This little sensor goes onto a rail. Now, they have models that will go on guns, shotguns, and rifles, so it's not just pistols. You can train in a bunch of different ways. And I hope to actually touch on that as we kind of do some of these videos for them, because it's a really cool product. So I've got this mounted to my SIG. I like this pistol because it's got a good weight to it, and I wish I had an exact replica of my Walther, but I don't. But if I had a SIG, this would be perfect. But if you have a Glock, well, there's Glock BB guns. You can do a lot of things. Beretta, Ruger, a lot of those guns will have an air gun equivalent. So this one is fairly close to that one in its weight and how it fits in my hand. So that's why I've chosen this. And also, this one doesn't lock back when it's empty. So some of the blowback guns, and I really do want to use blowback to give me a little bit of realism as far as the recoil goes, they'll actually lock open like your firearm does. Well, this one, because it's a pellet gun and the way they've designed it, it actually continues to cycle even when it's empty, which is perfect because we're doing dry fire practice today. All right, so you've got your little device here, you've charged it up, you've dropped it on your pistol. Now, what's the next thing you need to do? Well, it's super simple, and I'm gonna try and do something here on the iPad where you guys can see it. So let me get this running here. Let's see, go ahead and log in here, yes. Log in, okay, I'm gonna go ahead and start the screen recording. Okay, so first thing we want to do is go ahead and load up our application, and it's Mantis Training. So I've got the application up. I'm going to push this little button, and you see it's blinking green. That's what we want. We just hit connect on the screen, and now it's talking to the unit. So if we wanted to do, I mean, This thing has so many options on the menu here, from just basic proficiency to primary dominant hand training to secondary hand training to, it just does so much. So that's very awesome. The one thing that's important to set up before you get started is you go over to your settings and you make sure that you've got it set for CO2. It comes like dry fire, but you just click that button, set it to CO2, and you're good to go. So I just want to see where I'm hitting. That's the first thing I want to do. How am I doing today? I'm going to go ahead and hit the training button. Let's see, we're going to go to primary hand only. And here we have on the screen, we got some instructions. And then we're going to hit the start button. And you just want to check your settings. I'm on CO2 right-handed. And the device is actually, I need to reverse that. It is on the gun backwards. So it's calibrating. Okay, so it gives you a little picture so you know how your device is oriented. I want to make sure that I've got it pointing in the right direction. So we're good to go here. So I'm going to hit start. And the first screen I've got here is just a shot string, which is going to tell me a basic score, but I want to see the bullseye. And that's the next screen I got here. So cool thing about this is you don't need any ammo. And all you need is a point to aim. So I'm just going to pick a point, not at my camera girl, who's my sister. So I'm not going to aim at her, although probably times in the past, maybe, no, I won't. We won't go there now. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and aim at a fixed point and take my first shot. And one thing that's important is we're going to stop this and let's take the safety off. We're going to do that again. All right, so that was a horrible score. We don't want to see that number. That didn't exist. That didn't happen. So I'm going to take the safety off, and now it's probably going to work better. Are we ready? So hit start. All right, so I'm going to pick my point, and I'm going to pull the trigger. And then you're going to do that 10 times. Okay, and it beeps and tells you, hey, you're done. So now, and this is a cool feature of the SIG. It's got a decocker, just like the actual firearm. This is a great gun. I wish I had an actual SIG 226 to shoot live fire with. That would be awesome. Anyway, we'll move on. So my score actually was 90.6, which is like the best score I got all day today. So we're gonna go with that one. When you hit done, it actually gives you the screen here and it shows you where the biggest issue you're having. So for me, I tend to dip. So if I hit that little square, it actually shows me what I'm doing and it gives me tips on how to fix it. Now, if I was at the range, what would I have to do? I would actually have to go back to the range. I'd have to go back to the thing, buy more ammo, go and try again. And then all I would have was my target. I mean, this thing actually analyzes what's going on with my trigger pull shot by shot by shot. Okay, so if we go here, you can see on the screen here, that was my last shot. We'll go to my first shot. Now the first shot with this pistol, if you notice, right now the hammer's forward. So that first one, it's actually double action. And then it racks it back. I'll take it off safety. It racks it back, and now you're in single action, or I don't know how this one is, but you don't have to pull a hammer back every time you go to pull the trigger. That actually means the trigger pull's lighter. So my first trigger pull you see is kind of erratic, but then it begins to tighten up. And you don't worry about that red line. You want to look at these other lines, and you just see it gets tighter and tighter. And some of them I really wander off into Never Never Land. And sometimes maybe you don't want all that feedback, but if you want to know what you're doing and so that you can improve, and I want to improve, I want to get where I don't even have to think about it. I want to be able to grab my weapon, draw it, and put rounds exactly where I need them to go without even thinking about it. Now, if I were going to do that with my firearm at a range, we're talking thousands upon thousands of rounds and thousands of dollars and a whole bunch of hours, all of which I really don't have. But I do have a mess of CO2, and I do have some really cool replica air guns, and I can get a ton of trigger time in for just a fraction of a cost as it would if I took my firearm out. So this is what I'm going to do. I did some shooting today, and I think we have one of the targets there. Cheryl, would you bring me that target? Okay, so this was my target. She doesn't want to come on camera. She's coming from the side, that's fine. So this was my target today. And that was, I hadn't shot my firearm in a very long time. So that's not too bad. Of course, I was only 15 feet away. So pretty close, but that's what I got. And what I want to do is I'm going to spend some time practicing with the Mantis over the next several months. And I'm going to be posting images of my scores, good, bad, and ugly, to Instagram and Facebook and stuff. You guys can follow my progress as I work more with the Mantis product. And also, I want to get better at long range shooting, so I'm really eager to try it on a rifle and see what I can do to improve at, like, maybe getting better at bench rest, because I got some great guns, but I haven't really been able to get my shot groups down really tight. And I'm thinking it's probably not the gun, it's probably me, and that's where Mantis is really going to help. Guys, that's it for now. If you want to learn more, definitely check out the video description. You'll learn all about it. My name is Rick Usler. Thanks for watching.